Go.
Good afternoon, my name is Jeremy Bridges and this is Tyler Russell. We're here to present the Human Resource Management 335 annual results of what we had this year. Next slide, please. This year we were awarded a $1.4 million budget, and as you can see, we stayed within our budget throughout the entire year. We ended up executing all of our budget with remaining with $1. Next slide, please. This is a breakdown of our annual budget. As you can see, the hiring costs were $344,000. We had no overtime costs, which was great for our project this annual year. Our cost of wage increases were $112,270. The benefit increase was $260,722. The training expenses were $308,000. Program expenses $145,000, and our incident costs were $219,750. We had a spike in the incident costs at the fourth quarter due to one of the incidents we came across where we had to either comply with federal law or increase our annual expense. However, in doing so, we would have broke our annual budget. So we had to make a couple of determinations in that situation, which did end up costing us, but we were still able to increase our employee benefits, as you'll see later on in the presentation. We did purchase our research survey costs just to see how the rest of the industry was doing. And again, our total cost was just right at that $1.4 million mark with $1 remaining. Next slide, please. We set out with our goal of reducing our turnover number from 9.8%, and we wanted to go down to about 5.8%, just about 1% each quarter. And what we were able to do is steadily decrease it over each quarter. We were pleased with our result. In the end of the year, we were at 6.7%, which was still lower than the industry average, and we were able to decrease our overall turnover numbers percentage. Next slide.
So next we're going to talk about our employee benefits. As you can see, every quarter after the first quarter, we increased our employee benefits. Year to date, we added 4.4% to that, and our employee benefits are costing us 24.4% of the total pay. We did this by giving more vacation time, reimbursements for tuition, as well as life services, legal services, and prescription drug plan, things of that nature. Next slide. Next, we're going to talk about morale. When we came into the company this year, morale was average. It was at 50 out of 100. Over time, you can see that we increased morale quarterly to a peak of 62 in quarter 2. In quarter 3 and quarter 4, we had to get rid of some programs that were causing improved morale, but at the same time, it dropped. We stayed above industry average. Now we're at a 57 out of 100, not necessarily a positive increase, but it is above the industry average, and we're very proud of that. Next slide, please. Next, we're going to talk about the females and minorities. So coming in to quarter 0, we were on par with the industry, and we wanted to set out to increase that. We had a goal of 20% for female employees and 15% for minority employees. As you can see, every quarter we did increase on both sides. We started to search specifically for female and minority employees during the job search process. And as you can see, at the end of quarter 4, we meet our goal for females at 20%. And at quarter 4 for minorities, we were right there at 14%, just about 1% off of what we were looking for. Next slide.
So when we initially started, we didn't have a grievance procedure program, and that was one of the first things we immediately set out to do. Each quarter we had this, and as you can see, we started out with 31 grievances. Without there being an actual program, it was kind of just more of a guesstimate of what the managers were telling us, how many grievances they thought may have been there. But we were able to actually track these, and as you can see, by the end of the year, we only had 20 grievances. We attribute that a lot to that grievance procedure program. Next slide, please. The accident rate, we started out with 494 accidents each quarter, and as you can see, we were all the way down to 322 by the end of the year. And we do attribute this to having that full-time safety manager and steadily increasing our training program and the funds. As you can see, there was a little bit of a spike in quarter 4, and that was because we had to decrease some of our training program expenditures that we had in order to meet our annual budget and stay within that, with those guidelines. Next slide, please. Productivity consistently increased throughout the year. We were able to promote our employees from within the organization, and we attribute that to the productivity steadily increasing throughout the entire year. The training programs helped tremendously as well, training our managers and supervisors, as well as our level 1 employees, where we were able to maintain steadily increased productivity throughout the entire year. Next slide, please.
So the next thing we wanted to touch on was the quality. In the quality index, quality is scaled to 100. When we came in at quarter 0, we were right at the industry average at 50% on quality. As you can see, for quarter 1, 2, and 3, our quality index number increased, topping out at 61 in the 3rd quarter. In the 4th quarter, it dropped by 1 point to 60, once again clearly above the industry average. And we attribute this to some of the programs we had to take away to comply with government regulations during the 4th quarter. Next slide, please. Next, we're going to talk about the labor cost per unit. Once again, each of these was below industry average for the quarter. We came in, it started at 59.1 per hour, and for the first 2 quarters we did see an increase up to $60.15. But after we figured out the process and what we wanted to implement, some training programs and such, we did see the drop in that price, coming down to below what we started at $59.06, once again below the industry average for quarter 4. Next slide, please. And last, we want to talk about absenteeism. When we came into the company, quarter 0, we had almost 500 days of absenteeism per year throughout all the employees. And we wanted to set out to change that. Through the implementation of programs, grievance procedures, giving employees some benefits that they didn't have prior, we were able to bring the number down. Once again, in quarter 3, we hit our lowest at 329 days of absenteeism per 1,000 employees for the quarter. And once again, in the 4th quarter, due to trying to comply with some government regulations, we lost some of that. The number did raise to 452 absenteeism days. But once again, we attribute that to having to remove a couple programs that were keeping people there. Once we get back in the next quarter, we're able to reestablish those programs. We expect to see that absenteeism number drop once again. Next slide.
All right, well, thank you for your time, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask us after.